Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go right to the edge of the US border near Canada? Forests everywhere, and guess what? Maybe even Bigfoot. If you're not doing anything on the weekend of June 14th and 15th, well, you might just want to check it out at Meline Falls Bigfoot Festival. You'll enjoy every bit of it. So stick around for this audio only episode and find out more.
Welcome to High Strangeness, where we ask questions and explore all that is strange and unexpected in our reality.
Welcome to High Strangeness. I'm Tony, and this is the place where we talk about all things strange and unexpected in our reality. Now, something that would be strange and unexpected would be to run into an actual Sasquatch or Bigfoot. But where do you go to find these? And how do you get more information about Sasquatch? Sometimes the best thing that you can do to learn is to hear it from researchers, investigators, and experiencers directly. And there really is no better place to do that than at a gathering like a festival. So at the very north end of Washington State, very close to the Canadian border, there is a place called Meline Falls. And I did say that right, Kelly, right? Is it Meline Falls?
It's Metaline.
Ooh, thank you. Meline Falls, perfect. And there's a Bigfoot Festival there on the weekend of June 14th and 15th, 2025. And I'm excited because here to help us learn a little more about that is the director of Porta and the chair of the Meline Falls. I'm going to mess that up all day.
It's all good.
And her name is Kelly Flanagan. Kelly, thank you for being on the show. Welcome to the show. And how are you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to learning more about the festival here. I've not been to it, and I'm in Utah, and each year I try to find a few places to go visit, and so it'll be on my map and on my list to hopefully hit next year. We'll see. So, well, as we get the show going here, just a few basic questions. So you're way up there at the tip of the country, right? So you are real close to the Canadian border.
So
is that
we're
correct?
in the state of Washington. We would be considered in the eastern corner, about 12 miles from the Canadian border. Surrounded by nothing but mountains and the Ponderay River, one of the few north-flowing rivers in the United States.
North flowing?
Yes.
Really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be beautiful up there.
It is. It's a very beautiful day today. Nice and sunny today.
Well, that was going to be my other question, too. Because you're so far north, I was wondering what the weather is like at this time of the year, especially going into the festival, like for the evenings.
Springy. You could turn your heat on in your car in the morning and be in air conditioning by afternoon.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's cold mornings, warm afternoons, slight winds. Definitely have the four seasons up here. We've been blessed with, this is our 5th annual. We've had a very nice weather for 3 of our festivals. Last year we had some rain, but it was only short-lived, and then the festival turned out to be pretty nice for the rest of the weekend.
Sure. Now, the festival, what are the hours of the festival?
So vendors will show up on Friday, and on Friday night is a Bigfoot kids color run where we'll be throwing colored powder at the kids. Then Saturday we have what's called a Bigfoot 5K race. That's at 8 in the morning. And then the festival opens at 10 to 5. And then on Sunday our festival is 10 to 4. Both days you can start the morning off with the Bigfoot Pancake Feed.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. And what's cool about it too is I was going to ask you if people should bring a jacket for the evenings, but it sounds like it cuts off right at dinner time.
Yeah, Saturday night we do have what we call a presenter's dinner. This year is a little bit different. We will be doing it in So there's Metaline and Meline Falls. So Metaline is before Meline Falls. So the difference between the two towns is a bridge. So we'll have the presenters in the Metaline Park where they can visit with people, can do an open meet and greet, but we'll have food for sale, some music, and I think we're having a beer garden. So usually I only sell about 60 tickets and we have a sit down dinner, but not everyone got to sit with the presenters. And so I wanted to make it a little more open and actually have something to do on that Saturday night as well. So, I've gotten these presenters up here. They're stuck. So we might as well utilize them as we can.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and there you go. So there's something on a Saturday evening if, people can tie into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said this is your 5th year, is that correct?
Yes, this is our 5th annual. This is only my 2nd time. Last year I took it over in March, and now this is the first full year that I've been in charge of it with my board members and helpers.
Must have been fun.
Oh, yes. It's a year-long planning process. We see anywhere from, last year we seen between 6,000 and 7,000 people. The year before that, 8,000 to 9,000 people. We actually have drones that go over and do, they scan the areas, and then algorithms later that kind of tell us how many people we've had for the festival weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, I hope the person who you picked up the project from left you good notes, because that would have been hard, huh?
Yeah, a little. No notes, but we did good. I think we changed a few things that made a little more sense. But the basic template of the festival, I think I could pass it forward, and anyone could do it. It's very popular. I opened up the vendor application in February, and I already had in the first week like 60 vendors. I mean, we're at 150 vendors, including food vendors, and I'm going to have to turn it off. I can't accept anymore.
Yeah.
So we've become popular, and that's good. That means that we're doing something right. We're not we're not disorganized, or we're not boring, I guess. So I try and change up the presenters from year to year. Sometimes I use the same ones back to back, but just because then the researchers and presenters, they always have something different. They're researching all year long, so they have something new to talk about.
Yes.
So we always welcome, if I don't hire you as a presenter and you're a researcher or a podcaster and you want to come to the festival, you're more than happy to come. We'll get you a booth, and the more the merrier, because people are coming to see, they want to see what's going on with Bigfoot, and everyone has a different belief. So, we want to get you with the right person that, you can, have a conversation with and talk about your experiences and stuff. So, as well as buy Bigfoot stuff.
Right, exactly.
Because it's...
Well, that's I was going to say, that's great. I used to own a food business years ago that used to attend a lot of these types of fairs across parts of the country. And it's really nice to hear when your event coordinators, thinking of the things that you're mentioning, because it makes it a better event for everybody that comes out.
And we try, we're going to have, our map will be done here real soon, so we'll be able to, just put people right in their spots. The big thing for up here, there's 3 towns. There's Ione, which if you were coming north, you'd stop through Ione, then you'd come into Metaline, and then into Meline Falls. There's not a lot of economic growth up here because, the mines have closed, businesses have closed. The Canadian border, since COVID, had been shut down to very limited hours. Like they would close at 4:00. So we lost a lot of Canadian tourism. So how do you bring tourism up into the north part of a county that, that doesn't see a lot,
Yeah.
So through recreational tourism, promoting the RV parks, promoting the local businesses, it's a big economic growth for our area, and sometimes that can make their whole year.
Right.
some of our local businesses. So, and you want to, strengthen um, the recreational part, as in we have a beautiful river, we have boat launches, we have great RV parks, great camping areas, great Airbnbs. So please come back again if you like. You thought it was so
Right.
beautiful. Yeah, come back in the fall. Oh, the fall colors up here could rival Maine. They're so beautiful.
Mm.
So we do this. Porta stands for Ponderay Region Tourism Alliance. So our biggest goal is to bring tourism to Ponderay County to support economic growth. So if Bigfoot needs to help, Bigfoot helps, So um, we encourage anyone to come and
Right.
visit us year round. And we also would like to add that on that weekend we will have search and rescue, putting on various classes, because there has been Bigfoot researchers that have gotten lost and this
Oh,
last year had
wow.
perished. So we want people to be safe when they go in our woods, because there's a lot of woods up here that have not been, people haven't gone out into them. I mean, we're surrounded by a lot of mountains and a lot of forests. So we want you to be safe, as well as if you're going to come up here and do any researching or go anywhere and do any researching, that you're safe. So we will also have the Forest Service and search and rescue at our festival as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, geez. And the wild, well, I was going to say west, but I guess it is west. That's out, if you're losing Bigfooters or, people going out to check, yeah, that means it's remote
Well, yeah,
up
the
there.
biggest thing is there's cougars, there's bears, there are old mine shafts, there are things up here, in anywhere. It's just making sure you go into your research project, knowing what you should do in case of an emergency. Do you have
Mm.
the proper equipment? Do you have a GPS phone? Do you have a compass? Do you have a way of staying warm if you do have to spend the night in the woods? So that's a big thing. Safety is a big thing that we try and promote, as well as, finding what you
Yeah.
want to know about Bigfoot. Everyone's opinions are different, so I'm trying to be very politically correct here. So,
Well, no, this is great. And thank you for that great suggestion because that's important. If people, family, or a couple is going to come out and visit and make a weekend out of this, which it sounds like they should and could have a great time, they may want to venture up into the woods to see if they see the big guy, and you need to be careful.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. Well, let me ask you this. So, what was the initiating reason? What's the origin of the Bigfoot Festival that you're having? Like, what caused that to be a thing?
So that was in 2021 when it first started. And I have to tell you, I'm not a huge understander of why they decided to go with it. I know the first year
Mm.
was more of a Bigfoot town hall and bringing presenters together. And it could have been, from what I remember, the original board were a lot of Bigfoot believers. So I think they
Mm.
were already doing festivals, and to be honest with you, I think they just wanted to see if it would be a good fit up here. And it
Yeah.
really was, and it took off. We do it now more of for the unknown. You never know what's in our woods. Am I a believer or a disbeliever? I would have to tell you that, it hasn't been proven and it hasn't been disproven. So why not?
Right. Right.
Why not? Everything is up for discussion, and healthy discussions at that. I mean, I really like listening to the presenters we've had in the past, and we have some really good ones this year that I'm looking forward to listening to, and just getting a better understanding of how people feel about Bigfoot or Sasquatch, and how they feel that they communicate, and how and their belief system and
Mm.
their research. I mean, they're very, very passionate. I take out of it what I believe in, and then we go from there. But
Right.
it
Right.
just seems like it's such a good idea with as many with the landscape that is up here, it is,
Oh,
it
yes.
is very mountainous. So, why not?
Yeah, it really, it seems like it begs for this,
Yes.
right?
And
Yeah,
I've heard they've
absolutely.
done researchers, the presenters and researchers have been up here and they've done many, many outings and they've had some evidence. So, okay,
Yeah,
you know,
why not?
so
Well, it's like whether it's Bigfoot or UFOs or anything else,
yeah,
everybody's only one observation away from being a believer.
why
So,
not? Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, our presenters, this year, we have Legacy Discoveries, which is a local research group, and then Tom Contrell, who has been a researcher for quite a long time, Barbara Shute, also, and then our famous Dr. Jeffrey Milburn, his first time
Mm-hmm.
coming up, and Ronnie LeBlanc's first time for coming up. So we're excited to have him this year. I think we have a
Yes.
really good group. Last year we went more, we had more of a Native American type festival in Thomas Seawood and Mel Sakan and Jesus Pan. We really wanted for people to understand that the Bigfoot stories go back a long way in the Native American mythology.
Yeah.
So, people have been talking about the big guy for hundreds of years, not thousands. So,
Right.
yeah. So we're trying to change it up a little bit, but also respect everyone's belief system. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I think it's really cool that you had the native viewpoint last year, and this year looks like your panel of participants are they're pretty good.
yeah.
In fact, I just talked with Jeff Meldrum maybe a month or two back. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, I
He
can't
really
wait
is.
to meet him.
He's just so nice and so knowledgeable. It's going to be fun and a really good treat for your attendees up
Yeah.
there for sure.
Yeah, we spent the little extra money this year, so
Right.
yeah.
Right. I think these guys will be worth it though.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let me ask you this. This is just a feel-good kind of a strange question, but I know you've only been over it 1 year and now this year. Was there any special fun or memorable experiences that you had in the fair or festival last year, or that you've heard about previous fairs for any of your team that they go, man, I remember this happened. It was really cool. Anything like that to draw on?
We've had, gosh, so many. We had the Trekkies come last year. That kind of cracked my
what is
gut.
that?
The Star Trek people,
Ah.
they cracked my gut last year. No, I just how much, I guess the overall feeling of the whole festival, people didn't come up to be disbelievers. They came up to, oh my God, they were so happy and so excited and just telling stories. And it was such, we're so small town, like the town I live in right now we have 92 people. So just
Wow.
listening to everyone's stories, and there was no, backlash. It wasn't weird or strange. Strangers don't like to talk and everyone's kind of, no, everyone was open, and just the whole atmosphere was joyous, and just,
Nice.
everyone's so happy to listen and talk and take the time and, tell their stories. And I think I draw on that more than anything, that was just so comfortable,
Yeah. Yeah.
They can be comfortable whether they believe or disbelieve, because we also had
Right.
the ones that dressed up as hobbits, and no offense, you do get the strange, but
Yeah.
that makes it more fun,
It does.
So
It does.
it just cracks your little gut a little bit, and you smile and go, okay.
That is great. So, yeah, I was going to ask you about the community's embracing of this, and it sounds like it's really a good fit. I mean, in addition to the additional commerce, right, there's just the fun and the energy around it. And it sounds like the communities there enjoy that. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
I really think there's nothing better then when the community embraces it, it just makes it better for everybody there that comes in as well.
It's a big deal up here. Everyone's getting ready for it. They have their specials, or they do their own thing. I mean, the RV parks have been booked a year in advance. You know, the businesses, I think they're a little tired because it's so busy. But
Yes.
you know, it's one weekend.
That's
then
their
they
Super
draw
Bowl
on
weekend.
the people that'll come back up. So
Right. Well, no, that's amazing, and I think that's great. And yeah, for a community to gear up for a strong weekend, that's great. That just, it gives you something
we
to
have a
point to.
chainsaw carver. He had brought a Bigfoot carving last year, but he carved some stuff last year. But it kind of was rainy, so he didn't really get to do too much. But he's coming back. We've worked on a few things that I think it'll take us another year to get. And it's all about money. The festival's not cheap to put on, so
Yeah.
but everyone, we've got 300 racers so far for the 5K. So the race is getting popular, the kids run is getting popular, and that's what it's all about.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love it. I was going to ask you about the evolution, but it's a new one, right? It's just 5 years in, and it's cool to see what you've done with the presenters last year and then this year. And it seems like you're very alert to different things and giving change up. So this will continue to be fun for the next, who knows how long. So
yeah,
that's great.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to, what better atmosphere than to go up right there and as close as you can to that forestry right there. I think it's really cool.
And if you plan ahead, you can camp the weekend. There's lakes, Sullivan Lake. There's waterfalls to go see. You can put your kayak or paddleboard in, and you can paddle clear up to Boundary Dam and go look at Peewee Falls or go look at the dam. There's a lot more to do than just the festival itself. A little hidden gem up here.
Yeah. Well, let's look at that for a quick minute. That was going to be one of my questions. I was curious about the lodging and things like that. So there's camping and things like that. Are there hotels and stuff that people can get
there's like
to?
5 hotels. They're not huge, so obviously they fill up pretty quick. But most of the people I hear that like to spend the night, they don't want to sit in a hotel, and they rather go bring their RV up so they can bring their ATVs or their motorcycles, that type of thing, or they want to hike. So I have a lot more of the RV type camping. We also have quite a few Airbnbs up here now. That's taken on a good popularity. Actually, one of the bigger homes I have rented for all the presenters. So all the presenters get to stay together for the whole weekend, and they can visit and share stories and research with each other. And I think that's a good thing. They can bond over Bigfoot. So they each get their own room, and like I said, so that helps the community as well, because the people, like I said, I have quite a few homes, but a lot of them are seasonal. So a lot of my seasonal homes are also Airbnbs, so they can make money while their house is sitting here and they're not here. So. Right.
And pretty soon, if you don't already have it, then there'll be glamping.
Yeah.
You've heard of glamping, yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of dry campers. I'll have people that tent it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Bring
not,
it on.
Right? Yeah.
More than welcome.
Well, let me ask you this. I do want to ask you more about the event in just a second, but I'm going to step back a quick second here and ask you about any local legends or sightings that are kind of lore in that area. Is there any stories like that of things that have gone on or people have experienced?
I've heard a few up Sullivan Creek area. I think they've had some filming done up there, either on Expedition Bigfoot or the Flash of Beauty that was up here. I've known researchers that have come up here before and done research up in the Sullivan Creek area. That is the only one I know of around this immediate area. I know I've heard some over in the Stevens County area, and then in the Idaho Bonners County area. But For up here, I would say up the Sullivan Creek area is where I think they've done some actual filming. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, probably when it first started.
Okay. Well, cool. I mean, that just gives more people the opportunity to be the one who sees something. So that's great. Yeah. Well, let's swing back around to the festival. A couple more questions there. So 150 or so vendors is, I think, what you said.
Yeah, we'll probably top out with the food vendors about 180.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. So much variety for people to enjoy. That's great. And so I'm assuming they'll have anything from hamburgers and hot dogs to who knows.
Yeah, we have a barbecue guy, Thai, Korean, Vietnamese, obviously elephant ears and cotton candy and kettle corn. We have a guy that does the Indian tacos. Yeah. I was trying to think of all the other food vendors. They're escaping me. Ice cream. There's pizza, coffee.
People aren't going to lose anything.
No,
they're going to get. They're going to have.
There's going to be plenty. Everyone keeps saying you need more food vendors, so I have more food vendors. So hint, hint, people, I have more food vendors.
There you go. Come ready to eat. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, and your other vendors, I'm sure they're kind of the artistic, the art and clothing. So and things
we have a Weezer. He does.
What's that?
No, it's his name, Weezer.
Oh, okay.
He does the blacksmithing with the kids, and they can pound out coins and stuff. Then we have metal art, chainsaw carving art. Obviously, there's some just research booths or search and rescue booths. We get the sheriff's department, the border patrol, fire district. They all have their own booths. T-shirts and woodworking and glass and jewelry. I mean, the typical festival stuff.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
I know we have pottery. I seen the pottery. There's some hiking. We'll have a kids section. There's face painter. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's take just a quick second. Kids section. What can the little ones dive into so the parents can?
Yeah. So there's coloring pages, word searches. They can make a Bigfoot research kit. They can paint a rock, get their face painted.
Perfect.
I think that's about it in the kids section. It all takes volunteers, so I'm still working on getting a couple more. But yeah, they can. Oh, and then Weasel will have where they can pound out some coins and make themselves something out of that too.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have an ice cream shop, so yeah, ice cream all weekend.
Nothing better.
Yeah.
Well, look, I was on the website, tried to see any map for the layout. I didn't see anything. Maybe there will be. If you can talk about the layout of the festival as somebody pulls in parks.
You come into
how does that work?
Yeah, so when you come into Meline Falls, you go over a bridge, and then the very first right, you would take it and go into town. And you'll obviously see that we'll have roads that are blocked off and massive signs that say parking this way. So you'll be able to park down by the old cement plant and just walk through over a field. It's not very big. And then you'll see the festival, which is on 4th Street. And then there's Busta Park, which is right there. And that's where the festival mostly is. So we have closed down 5th Street, 4th Street, Washington Avenue. We pretty much kind of take over the whole town. So you can there'll be some vendors over off of the field where you're parking at. Then most of my vendors will be in the park and along Washington Avenue, which is right next to the park. And then all up and down 5th Avenue. So, it's not a big town. You will not get lost. You will see where everyone's parking and be able to walk right on over and look at. And we have the vendors are in rows, so we mark them out in the Buster Park on a Thursday and do flags. And when they show up, we take them to their spot, and then they, so you'll have plenty of room in between the aisles, so it's ADA accessible. Pets are okay. We would prefer you not to bring your pet because, we
Yeah.
have had fights in the past for the safety of your pet. You don't know what has been immunized, what doesn't been immunized, but
Hmm.
people bring their dogs. I'm like, okay. So there's plenty of room between the rows, but there's probably going to be 8 rows of vendors plus along the streets. And then the vendors, the food area is pretty much on one side, but we do put some down on the other end as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that sounds great. And I wasn't sure. I ask sometimes because with a small town, sometimes they just take over a big field and they set everything up there.
And we
other
do a
times they
big
do it through
park
the city.
that has a visitor center in it. There's an old train caboose, and that's the visitor center. And there's bathrooms, obviously, plus we'll have other bathrooms. But, we take over a park. We take over 5th Street. We'll have vendors, like I said, Washington Avenue. But 4th Street is closed off. That's the emergency vehicle only street. So to get an emergency vehicle in and out, we have to have one street open per. So when I insure the event, we have to do an emergency response plan because for Meline Falls, there's only one way in, one way out. So we want to make sure that we're safe with everybody so emergency vehicles can get in and out. And if anything was to happen, our staff, along with the Border Patrol, the fire district, and the sheriff's office, can evacuate people properly and correctly, and so no one gets hurt. So
that's great. Yeah, I mean that's important for everybody coming in and knowing that you have taken that seriously and that
very
there
seriously.
is safety included. Yeah,
you never know when a forest fire will start, so you want to make sure that everyone knows the plan. So
yeah, exactly. Well, let me ask you about a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap up the schedule of the day. So, let's say Saturday people come in the morning. How will the day flow if they decide to stay?
You would start, like I said, we start with the 5K run. Starts everything off. Then we open up the festival at 10. We'll have 3 presenters on the Saturday, and I'm going to tell you who they are.
Cool.
I just need to pull Shane's name up because I have Legacy Discoveries in the morning, then Thomas Cantrell in the afternoon, and Jeffrey Melbourne that day. And then Sunday is Barbara and Ronnie.
Okay.
But the exact times, I am still playing with that.
Yeah.
So they usually run where we'll do, if we probably start at 10:30 with the presenter, and we give like 2 hours, even though they're 90-minute segments, just so we have time to get people in and out. But most people will buy. So if you came Saturday, you could buy just Saturday. So it's $30 to get every presenter on Saturday. You have to pay the $30. You can't just pick one presenter. And $30 on Sunday, or it's $50 for the whole weekend, and that gets you all the presenters. So we try and, like I said, do 2 hours. So in case someone runs a little long.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's perfect. Yeah, and it's if you're going to come, right, from 10 to 5 or 4 the one day, hey, that's a
and we'll
perfect
usually
day.
and usually we're done, so I know our last Dr. Jeffrey Melbourne is our last one on Saturday, and he'll be done by 4:15 at the latest. So then we can clean up and because we're done at 5, but we're also going to be having the presenters meet and greet at 6. So we want to get all the presenters over to the park, so I won't make it clear till 5 o'clock. So we're usually done on Saturday at 4 with the presenters, but the vendors and everyone are open till 5. So.
Yeah. No, that's great. It sounds like it's going to be a ball and a great experience for everybody. I want to thank you so much for sharing about the festival and all this. Let me ask you, is there anything else you wanted to mention that maybe I didn't ask about that might be worth it for people to hear?
Well, you're more than welcome. Please Visit any of the visitor centers or Chamber of Commerce for maps of the area. You can do the Meline Falls website, which is mfbigfoot.com, or you can go to porta.us for any more information about the area.
Perfect.
Other than that, anyone's more than welcome to come and enjoy and come say hi at our booth, and be more than happy to visit with you.
That's great. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity to have a nice little weekend, either by yourself
and
with your
it's Father's
significant
Day.
other.
What more to do?
There
Get
you
outside and
go.
go camping.
That's exactly right. If your dad or husband or boyfriend doesn't know about it, drag him up there. He's going to love it.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Yeah. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try to see if I can put it on my calendar for next year. It
Absolutely.
Sounds like
it's always
be
will be on Father's Day weekend.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, thank you so very much. And I appreciate the opportunity to chat here. Everybody, there you go. Metaline. Did I say it again?
Metaline.
How did I say that? Metaline. I'll never get it right.
That's okay.
Meline Falls Bigfoot Festival, weekend of June 14th and 15th, 2025. Don't miss it. Okay, everybody. So as we wrap up here, remember, there's a lot of strange and unexpected in our reality. So always keep your eyes, ears, and minds open. And until next time, stay safe.
Thank you for listening to High Strangeness. This was a glance at some of the strange that exists in our reality.